we can keep that code in macros, and we can take that at the place where we want to save that variable data set everything, and we can that and easily. So you can see that it was displaying us the counts of sets, right? Suppose I want to display the counts of age values. How can we do? Simply in the table statement, we have to change this text to age, right? So simply here, let's change. Now we got the counts on ages because we changed the variable name in the table statement. Okay. So now, without writing this entire code again, simply you can choose this macro and you can change that variable. First, we will keep this entire code in the macro. Okay. To keep this entire code in the macro, so first we have to write percentile macro, and then we have to give a macro name. So here I'm giving the macro name freak. Simply coding. So now after the giving the code in the macro, we have to end that macro. To end the macro, we have to give percentile and end. Okay. And see, we cannot find any notes allowed, but here you can see in the work library, a catalog was created. It is named as stats macro, right? You can see we got another one called freak. We cannot open this one. We don't have access to open that. We can see here it's a stats macro catalog created. In this we have another catalog called freak. So now we kept this code in the macro. So now we have to run this code to execute this code called as invoke invocation of macro. Okay. To invoke this macro, we have to give percentile and this macro macro name. Okay. Percentile speak, right. So now when we run this percentile speak, now this entire code will can see in this macro the analysis variable was set. Analysis variable is set, right. So now immediately when we run this percentile speak, we got the counts on the variable text. So do you understand?
Sir, in macro element, we should compulsory use to create the variable.
Macro.
Sir, voice not clear, sir. I'm not getting clear voice.
Macro. I don't understand. Can you please repeat?
Voice I'm not able to hear.
Voice was not
Sir,
able.
your voice was not audible. Yes, now it's clear, sir. I'm asking, sir, this macro element. Every time we have to give this macro element, like to create the macro variable.
Yeah, we have to end the macro. Yes. So here we started the macro, right? So when we starting the macro, we also have to end the macro. Between these two lines, all these lines of codes are present in this macro, what is called macro catalog. Okay, the catalog called freak. This is the macro variable name we have to give here. By this name, a catalog is created, right? So when we run this freak, percentile freak, all these lines are run. All these runs, all these codes, all these lines inside this macro will be executed. So this process is called invocation of macro. Okay.
After an founder, the mend is also particular use in microfrequency.
After the percentile amend,
It's
I
compulsory using for the micro.
yeah, this line is also we have to give compulsory.
Okay,
It is important.
okay.
So now if we run this, all these lines are executed and we got the counts in the sex variable, right? So now we have to change this variable and we have to replace this sex value with age variable. Okay. To replace that, we have to give parameters, macro parameters. So parameters are nothing but after the, so here we want to change the text, right? So in this place, we have to give ampersand and we have to give any macro variable name. So suppose here I am giving the macro variable name as var. Okay. So in the bracket also, we have to mention that variable name. So here the variable name is var, right? So here in the bracket, we have to give we have to give this name which we are given as macro variable name here. So now we run this. So after whenever we are invoking this macro, like executing this macro percentile freak, in the brackets we have to give any variable name. Suppose if I given here as age, now in this place ampersand var, this age was replaced. Okay, in the place of ampersand var, this age was replaced and this entire code is executed. Okay, so now let's execute this line. You can see here now we got the counts on variable age, right? So suppose if I am giving here weight, so now here in the place of ampersand var, this was replaced with weight and this entire code was executed. Okay, now let's see. So you can see here now it was executed on the variable weight. Okay, so without writing this entire code, we can do modification in this code in this particular code by using the macro. Any doubts here?
Once again,
Yes, sir.
read output.
So here you can see by using proc_freq we are calculating the counts of age variable, right? So in this code, in this code, we are counting the counts on sex variable. In this code, we are getting counts on age variable. So I am keeping this code in the macro, and whenever I want to change the variable name here in this place, I want to change the name, right? So at that place, I am giving any name, any macro variable name. Suppose I'm giving the macro variable name as ABC. So right in the parameters, we have to mention that ABC macro variable name. This is the macro variable name. This is the macro name. So this is the difference. So I will tell again what is macro variable. So this is the macro name. This is the macro variable name. So now whenever after executing this code, whenever we are trying to invoke this macro or executing this macro, in the brackets, if we mention any variable, this variable was replaced in this place in the macro variable place, and it will execute the entire code inside the macro. So here I given the given the variable name as weight, right? So at this macro variable place, this weight was replaced here. This weight was replaced and this entire code was executed. Okay, so you can see here. Now we are getting the counts on the variable weight, right? So suppose if I want the counts on age variable, simply we can change in the macro parameters. So now we are getting the counts on variable age, right? Any doubts here?
No.
No. Sir, how can number of we can execute this program for how many number of times? Like we can use for cars also.
We can execute n number of times.
We,
If we create macro one time, we can execute it n number of times. So we can also
instead
say
of
that
class, we can yes, we can. Sir, we can use the class other data set like car and all this data set. So we can
Yeah.
get the result.
Yeah. For that. Okay. So here we want to change that title.cart, right? So in this place. So here we should give a macro variable name ampersand. To give a macro variable name, we have to start with ampersand and then we have to give a name. Okay, ampersand. Suppose I'm giving the macro variable name as set. Okay, so here in the brackets I'm writing set. So here now we have two macro variables inside this macro, right? Ampersand set and ampersand abc. So we have to mention here ampersand set and ampersand abc. So now we have to run this code. So you can see we do not find anything here the log. So I don't know what variable present in the hospital. So let's open the suppose here I want counts on origin. Okay. So to execute this macro or to invoke this macro, we have to give percentile and this macro name. Okay. This macro name was freak, right? So for eq in the bracket. So first we have here we have ABC. So we have to give here the variable which we want to count. So here now here we will the variable as origin. Origin, right? After that we are giving the next we are giving the set. So set we want cars, right? Cars. So now when we execute this code, here origin was replaced with ABC variable. So here origin was replaced. So at the place of ampersand ABC, this origin was replaced. So next we have set. For set we have given cars. So at the place of ampersand set, this cars was replaced here. Then this code was executed. Okay. So now let's run this code. So we can see in the origin we have three: Asia, Europe, USA. So Asia was repeat count of 158. Europe has count of 128. USA has count of 147. Okay. Any issues here?
Sir, again, SAS help dot ampersand set to create the variable. So this
This
set
is the macro variable.
yes. So sir, this can where you take the frequency origin car, we can give the name for another data set like class fit is there on the data set or heart is there.
So
So should we change the ampersand set statement or this is for all the SAS data set? We have
so
taken created the macro for
so suppose if we want to use any data set like other than SAS data set, so
yes.
simply we have to so all this data is counting. We have to give ampersand suppose set. So when we give like this, so here we have to give uh, help dot. So what is the heart, right? So heart. Suppose
Yes.
in the heart variable, we don't know what variables we have to get the count, right? So just to open the heart.
Need some deaths or something. Death
Suppose
value.
we want the count of status variable. So what we can do here at the place of origin, what is variable status, right?
Death of
Status. Okay. So here in the first position, we have ABC. So at the place of ABC, this status was replaced. So ABC was present here. First I will copy this code. So you can see here, here we have the ABC. For ABC, we given status. So at the place of ampersand ABC, this status was replaced. So next we have given dot heart, right? So what variable we have set? So at the ampersand set, this dot heart was replaced. So now this replaced text it was then it text here the text was replaced, right? Then this code was executed. So this is the backend process which is going to happen. So you can see I'm running this code. So you can say invalid data segment as help dot heart H E A H E A R T. I can if I closing still not working. Invalid data set name. So let's submit. What happened to this? Oh, mm, so you can see here. Here we change the data, right? So after changing the data, I'm not updated this data. Updated this macro actually. So here now I'm update after updating this macro, you can see the data was executed with change the values. Okay. So here you can see we got the counts. So alive we have count of 3,218. So dead we have count of 1991. Right. So based upon usage, we can create the n number of macro variables here. Okay. Any doubts here?
No.
So as we know, like data step will run in two types: compilation phase and execution phase, right? In the compilation phase, what it will check syntax error, all remaining error like data conversion error or any variable errors will you will get issue in execution phase, right? So here you can see here I am removing the semicolon. Is this now you can see we got a error. This error is syntax error, right? So here I missed the semicolon. This is a syntax error because I have not given the properly syntax here. So it was a syntax error. But in the macros, can see if I remove this semicolon and run this macro, still it was run without any error because in the data steps here here the code itself it will enter into the compilation phase and execute immediately after compilation phase it will enter into execution phase, right? So that's why we are getting error. But here it will compile the code and it will not execute the code. It will execute only when we run invoke this macro. So when we execute this macro only, then only it will execute. Till that it will just be in the compilation phase only. So even in the compilation phase, it will check the syntax error only for this line and this line. So percentile macro line and percentile mn line. Only these both lines syntax are checked. Between these are not considered as a what it is not considered as any code. It is just considered as a piece of text. Okay, it will not check any syntax error inside the code, inside that macro. So after you can see here I remove the semicolon. Actually, this was a syntax error. Okay, it was executed properly in the macro. So we will get a error only when we executed that macro, when we invoke that macro. Here you can see I'm invoking this macro now. So you can see here. Now we got the error. We got a syntax error because now only after running this macro, it was executed. Before it was not executed. Okay, but if I remove the semicolon at the percentile micros line, you can see here it was showing us an error because percentile macro will check the syntax error only for these two lines, percentile macro and percentile end. Remaining between these two lines all are considered as a piece of text. It will not consider as any syntaxes, any statements, anything. It will consider all this as a text values only. Okay, it will come into execution phase only when after we invoke this macro. Okay, do you got my point?
Yes.
Okay. So next, so here we have so many ways to create the matrix. So here we created in the what parameter. So inside the bracket we are giving here, right? This is called as parameter. So we are creating macro variables in the macro. So here the parameters also there are three types. Positional parameters, keyword parameters, that's mixed parameters. Just wait a minute. We have three types of parameters: keyword parameter, positional parameter, and mixed parameter. This is called as parameters. Inside we are giving a macro variable, right? This is called as parameters. So here we are given the two macro variables, right? A, B, C, and set. So here this is called as positional parameter. Suppose consider here. So here now I replace the position. So here I'm giving the Sassel dot hard first and next I'm giving the status. Now what it will do is at the place of ampersand ABC, it will replace SASL dot heart. So means here it will replace the SASL dot heart, and at the place of set it will replace the status. So when it is replaced like that, will we get the correct output? So simply, so first we have ABC, right? So for that we have the SASL dot heart. At the place of ABC, it was replaced with SASL dot heart. So next we have set at the place of set, it was replaced with status. So here, now if I run this code, do it execute properly or we will get any errors?
It will execute it.
Huh?
It might
What?
execute.
So how can you think it will execute? Actually, our data set is hard, SASL but hard. So here, what it was replaced with status. Do we have any data set named with status? No, right?
Okay.
So it will give it was trying to give counts on SASL dot heart.
Set.
So do we have any variables like SASL dot heart? No, right?
No.
So we get error. So it was trying to found the status data set. So usually we do not have any data set named with status. So we get error. So even if we change the position, we should get the correct output. Correct output means we have to use the positional parameter. So sorry, keyword parameter. So this is called as positional parameter. So for positional parameters, we have to give the same positions. Okay. So in this case, we have to use the keyword parameter. So keyword parameters are nothing but ABC equal to X equal to ABC equal. So now you can see it was executed properly. Even we change the position because here we mentioned the macro variable name. So this SASL dot art will be replaced only at the place of ampersand set here. And here we mentioned the variable number as ABC. So status was replaced only at the place of ABC. Right? So whatever we are giving in the position, it works fine because we are mentioning the macro variable name case. Okay, do you understand this?
Yes. Equal to sign is used to assign the
Yeah, it will assign
variables.
it will assign at correct place.
Keyword.
So this is called as keyword parameter. And that we have position parameter or mixed parameter. So mixed parameters are nothing but by using this both positional parameters and keyword parameters both at a time is called as mixed parameter. Count equal to So whenever we are using the keyword parameter tag, here also we should mention equal to, so for better understanding. Okay. In the case of parameters also, we have to mention equal to. So here you can see how many macro variables do we have in this code here. Hello. How many macro variables do we have in this code?